Views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station, its owners, staff, or management. The following program is sponsored by Rob Warner at Guild Mortgage, NMLS number 825102. Welcome to the Happy Hour with Rob Warner, an hour of stimulating conversation adding value to your financial future. Rob brings helpful insights into many aspects of the mortgage and real estate industry. Now, here's your host, Rob Warner.
Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rob Warner with Guild Mortgage. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend and a happy Monday. Anyway, I'm excited to bring two guests on today, Rick Carlson and Eddie Brown with Fitness Evolution. How are you two doing today?
Doing fantastic. How are you doing, Rob? Good to see you.
Good. So, Rick, I know you wanted to say a little something about the current situation in Texas, so I'm going to let you do that to start our show.
Yeah, my heart's heavy today. It's family and friends over there in Texas have been devastated by the floods in Houston area. Our prayers are out to them, and there's organizations you can go out to help them that are out there, and we hope you all do that. There's going to be a lot of people in dire straits, so just prayers out to them, and again, our hearts are heavy with that today.
Thank you for doing that, Rick. Rick, tell me a little bit about yourself. Both of you guys, just tell me a little bit about yourselves personally before we get into the show. Is that cool?
That's cool. Yeah, well, again, I came on your show to spread corporate wellness and individual wellness cheer. I've been very passionate about health and wellness and in my own personal life. I have a wonderful wife of almost, our anniversary's coming up, 18 years, and I've been in the Sacramento region now since 1998. Again, my passion in my life has been my faith and in my health and wellness and taking care of myself and spreading that to all my friends and family members.
Very well. How about you, Eddie? A little bit about yourself, okay?
Sure. Thanks, Rob. So I have been in the fitness industry, excuse me, a little bit over 10 years now. I've been with the company Fitness Evolution. I've been on board for about a little bit over 5 years now. It was actually a different company when I started. We've transitioned into the Fitness Evolution brand. Started off managing clubs, individual clubs, and then worked into a regional position, and then the company decided to expand on our corporate wellness program, which is basically something we'll be going over today, but we do comprehensive wellness programs for businesses small and large. So once that happened, I took the position of director of that division, and outside of that, I'm a father of 3 beautiful kids, and my wife and I are going on 2 years of marriage now, so not quite catching up with Rick, but
you got a ways to go.
Yes, yeah,
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, very well. Well, this is kind of going to be an open forum today because the two of you are with the same organization. So I'm going to let either one of you chime in at any time. Does that sound good?
Sure.
So who wants to go first? I mean, tell me a little bit about what corporate wellness means.
So, what it is we obviously on the ground floor of corporate wellness, the essential part of it is basically our company sells, gym memberships. And so what corporate wellness does is basically we go into companies and based on the size of the company, we offer them a corporate wellness program, which is, we like to do it, we like to be as comprehensive as possible, but it can be as simple as a company just saying, hey, we want to sponsor memberships. Forward-thinking companies, which most are nowadays, as health and wellness becomes more and more on the forefront, companies are really seeing the benefits of obviously having a happy and healthy and more productive workforce. And so it can be as simple as a company just sponsoring their memberships or, us just offering a discount to their employees, that kind of thing. But then even a step further, we like to we offer companies comprehensive programs where we're gonna come in and we're gonna do conditioning, and we're gonna track their results, and we're gonna track their weight loss, and we can set up company challenges. That's one of the things that's becoming more and more popular nowadays is that not only as a health and wellness aspect, but also as a team building aspect. A lot of companies are opting for weight loss challenges, biggest loser challenges, that sort of thing. And companies not only see the health and wellness benefits, but they see the team building factor in that. And so we can come in and design an entire program for a company from start to finish, where we track their employees' results. We track their usage. That's another big sticker for the companies, is that they want to make sure, obviously, if they're paying for memberships, that they want to make sure that their staff is using them. So we track the usage, but we also, like I said, we track their results, and we design an entire program for these companies so that it's hands-free. They come to us and they say, this is, we want to set something up, but most companies don't know what it is they're looking for. So when they come to us, we design the program for them 100% based on what they're looking for, and we show them the results they're getting. And the nice thing about us is we offer it, Fitness Evolution, we offer it on a month-to-month basis. And that's one thing that we've done that has kind of changed the industry, is that before, the gym industry had a bad stigma where, a lot of people felt like in order to get into a gym, you had to sign your life away. You had to sign a contract, long-term contract. And there was all kinds of stipulations on canceling your contract and just things that the fitness industry never should have been about. But it started to go in that direction. And so what we did as a company is we took fitness and said, number one, it shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg. Having a gym membership and getting in shape shouldn't be a massive expense to anybody. But number two, it shouldn't be something that seems gimmicky or seems like a scam, and people shouldn't be scared to go into a gym. And that's always been one of the biggest hangups in this industry is people don't want to walk into a gym because they feel like they're going to be hard sold, and they feel like they're going to step in the door and somebody's going to pounce on them. I hate to use the comparison, but I always say like a car lot. People walk into a gym and they feel like they're walking onto a car lot because they feel like somebody's going to attack them and try and upsell them. And so what we did is we said, we no longer want to have this stigma, and as a company, we're gonna evolve the fitness industry, and so that's what we did. Mm-hmm. We took the contracts out of it. We took the no cancellation fees, all these other things that you deal with at a typical gym, and we evolved on it, and that's basically the premise of our company. And so that's another, circling back to corporate wellness, that's another point that a lot of companies gravitate towards us, because generally when they're trying to set up a corporate wellness program, one of the biggest things that they want is flexibility, and they want to know that whatever they're getting involved with, that they can kind of change it as they're going along based on the results they're seeing. And so us being able to offer it on a month-to-month basis, it only makes it that much easier for companies.
Yeah, very good. My audience is probably asking, why does Rob have some fitness guys on a show that says adding value to your financial future, right, Rick?
That's right.
And so can you kind of share about how this all ties in with that?
Well, if you look at the words health and wealth, there's just one constant that separates them. Is there's a reason for that. A lot of people today strive, of course, for wealth, to build their future, as your show talks about many times, about building your financial future, hopefully have enough to retire on. Having a good credit score. These are all things we need to have, but what we're leaving behind is the health aspect, and that's what's going to end up costing us more. We don't realize this, and we're finding out today that the retirees now are spending a lot of money on going to the doctor's visits, pharmaceuticals, and driving. I mean, they're spending a lot of money at home, and this could be easily prevented by going to the gym, by exercising, by eating properly, but we just don't do it. We don't get it, and so that's what we're concerned about today. Is right now one of the biggest problems in our nation is poor health. We're looking at possibly up to 80% that are having health issues today in the United States, and so we need to address this, and that's why we're here today, to talk about what people can do to better themselves daily, changing their mindset, getting on a better health and wellness program.
Well, hold that thought, because we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Happy Hour. I'm Rob Warner with Guild Mortgage. We're being joined by Rick Carlson and Eddie Brown of Fitness Evolution. And Rick, you were talking about the need, how costly it is to be in bad health. I guess that's a good way of putting it, right?
Yeah, and again, I have a lot of doctor friends and talking to nurses, and they're very concerned about what's going on out there. We're seeing a big increase right now in diabetes, and I know a lot of the Americans are out there aware of this. It's been out there presented, especially on social media. Diabetes, Alzheimer's, heart disease. It's astronomical what's going on, and a lot of these could be prevented just by, again, I'm going to go to the mindset thing. We live on an emotional mindset. We're driven by our emotions. We make our decisions on our emotions, and we become more of I think we can all agree on this, more of a reactive society, reacting to things rather than being proactive. And it's driving up the cost and of healthcare costs and medical. And we look at the blame out there, but it's 75% of us that's causing this out there with rising costs. The average American is $10,000 spent on healthcare
Per year.
Per year. I mean, yeah, per year. And and then I was looking at some statistics in the corporate world, the CDC, where the average employee, it costs poor health is costing companies up to $1,600 per employee, or $225 billion a year. That's coming out of their pockets with poor health. So it's individual, it's in the corporate world, it's all over the place. And again, it's the education factor. It has to be addressed. Back in the 60s and 70s, we put fitness at the forefront, the presidential fitness in PE in high schools, and now they're taking PE out of high schools. We're putting all these emphasis on wealth and different things up there in the forefront, but we're leaving behind the importance of good health. And I think we really need to be more proactive in the society and to create better health and wellness for all the individuals, not just at home, but also in the corporate place, that we can all become better and healthier. And of course, this goes through with depression too in society, and all the tension that's out there and stress. That also is caused by poor health. That exercise and eating properly will actually reduce stress. I know some days I have a long day, I'm a little tired. I go work out in the gym, I feel 10 times better. And, and then you follow through with some good eating habits, and you just feel so much better. And again, a lot of us, we live fast today. Back in the day, we were much more active. Of course, we talk about this constantly. And being in the 70s, being out playing, being out running around, doing things, didn't have all the electronics we have today. And so we weren't as sedentary. So now we have the perfect storm. And fast food. Fast food, we would, as a treat, we would actually go, on payday, we would go down to the Shakey's Pizza.
Oh, my
Remember
God.
Shakey's Pizza?
You're showing your age now,
Yes,
Rick.
yes, I'm showing my age. Yes. And Shakey's Pizza, Dairy Queen, in town, KFC. But those were treats. Now it's an everyday thing. Everybody's on the go. We're moving fast, eating fast food. And then we're combining that with going home and sitting around, being sedentary. I want to bring this up. At church the other night, I heard a funny story from one of the pastors about just how immobile we've become. Talking about how we leave the house, go to the car in the garage, then we drive down to the local store, and then we spend time in the parking lot. How many of you do this out there? Looking for a parking spot in front of the store and waiting for it to open, 10 feet into the store, come back out, and then we have the next store to hit, next store. What do? We drive over to it. And so we've just become that we've just become sedentary. So again, it's just, there's so much information out there, everybody, that we could, there's so much information that we can get on the internet and talking to people. And I mean, with all this information, yet we still follow popular norm with social media, sending us down to, with misleading advertising to eat a certain way, do this and do that. We're following that, and it's really causing more poor health than anything else. But we have all this good information out there that we could obtain and use and better ourselves with.
Well, how do you change the mindset?
Well, that's you kind of got to start from the ground up. I mean, when you touching on the things that Rick was going over, when you look at the statistics, I mean, it's just staggering. So, statistically, right now, like Rick said, the average American has eclipsed the $10,000 mark per year in healthcare costs, and that is on average total. You know, and one thing that Rick said that I wanted to touch on even further was, you know, it becomes almost a cycle in everybody's life, you know, where the quickest way and the easiest way has become the norm, and it's a perfect storm of issues because, you know, the average person in America goes to work and spends a lot of time sitting and immobile at work,
Yep.
and then, you know, they get a brief break and, you know, a lunch hour maybe, and the quickest solution is to go to wherever you can get the fastest, which usually equates to the most unhealthy option. You go get your fast food, and then, you know, probably stop at a Starbucks on the way back as well. You know, and this
Extra cocoa, extra sugar.
yeah, and I mean, and you know,
I hear you on
and it just becomes such a cycle, and people don't realize, you know, and a lot of it, a lot of these people will fall back and say, you know, I don't have the time to get healthy, or I don't have the money to get healthy, and without realizing that you could make small changes in your daily routine, very small changes in your daily routine to be able to afford it. Now, you know, without shamelessly plugging our company, we've made an option to where it'll never break the bank to get a gym membership with us. But that being said, a lot of people will say, you know, it just costs too much for a gym membership, right? You know, they don't know where to start. But, you know, these are the same people. Then unfortunately, you know, they let their money get consumed with fast food and with Starbucks and things like that. You know, I was reading that people spend up to $50 a week on fast food, and you can get a gym membership at any gym anywhere for that kind of money. You know, and so really, you got to get people to, as far as changing the mindset, you got to get people to be forward thinking on it, because, you know, like Rick was saying, you can either be proactive on it or you can be reactive. But the cost of fixing self-induced healthcare issues is far more than it is to just prevent them. And you can prevent it just by, you know, making small tweaks in your diet. And then, you know, diet and exercise. It's something that you cannot avoid at the end of the day.
It's
It's
common
that
sense.
same basic thing.
It really is.
Basics. Back to basics.
It really is, and it you know, people don't, and so as far as the correlation, you know, that was one thing that he and I were discussing, is that you know, not only does, so as far as corporate wellness, you know, the program that we offer, it's about a tenth. At the most, it's about a tenth of the cost of what company-sponsored healthcare would cost.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a tax deduction. So most companies don't realize that if they sponsor a corporate healthcare program, it's a tax write-off at the end of the year. So what they don't realize is that it's not just a lot of companies will look at it, and obviously with any company, it's X's and O's. It's a, you know, whatever's affecting the bottom line. But when a company sponsors a healthcare, rather a corporate wellness program, it's not just a flat-out expense. They can write it off on their taxes at the end of the year, and that, when companies realize that opens their eyes up quite a bit in and of itself.
How are they able to do that? Is that because it's considered medical?
It's a business expense, yeah.
Oh, it's a business. Oh,
Right,
got it.
right.
Okay.
And it's, you know, it's threefold. I always tell companies it's threefold, because that's part one. Part two is it will, insurance companies now will recognize the fact that you're offering a health and wellness program. And, you know, based on return on investment, health insurance companies now will lower the cost of what they're charging the company to sponsor healthcare. And just so you get an idea, studies show that on average, having a corporate wellness program reduces the cost of health by 26%. It reduces the cost in workers' compensation and disability by about 30%, and it's about a 28% decrease in sick days as well. So when a company is looking at all of these different factors, it starts to really, really make sense. And, I mean, at the end of the day, if you have all of your employees working out, eating better, you're going to have a more energetic and lively workforce at the end of the day, and there's just no two ways about that.
Plus, you're showing a vested interest in your employees. You're
Absolutely.
showing you care.
Absolutely.
That's a big thing right now with a lot of corporations. You know, being out in the field now for 4 months with awesome company. And being at the forefront with the corporate wellness like you guys, this company does, I've seen a lot of companies being more receptive than I did back a few years ago. I mean, there is concern. It's just a matter of going in and giving them the information.
Right.
A lot of the information is just not known. Like you just brought up great points, Eddie, about tax deductions,
Right.
and also the monthly expenditures being an insurance. You reduce insurance costs, and this is huge for companies. And I know companies at the end of the year when they look at their bottom line, they see that, and you can kind of isolate the even the flu season coming up now. Here we come, flu season. You got a lot of employees going to be out sick, and this is going to be costing the company a lot of money, and a lot of it could be prevented. And I'm sure all of you agree with this, by just having better health and wellness lifestyle, by exercising daily, eating properly. And also we see this, a lot of employees are going to work sick, and that's actually causing more headaches for the company and driving in more sickness and costing them more money where they could have just stayed home and got well. But a lot of people have to go to work, understand that, even when they're sick. But so anyway, yeah, it's definitely an epidemic today where we're actually creating the misery ourselves. And again, the knowledge is out there, and I know that all of us wake up every day with good intentions, wanting to do the right thing. You know, we want to go to work and do good at the job. We want to be able to go home and be good with our families and be our healthy best. But we're just we're going backwards, and we need to learn to move forward. And again, that's getting back to
It's the New Year's Eve.
Yes.
The New Year's Eve, the New Year's resolution theory is it's something we deal with in the fitness industry every year. Is everybody's got that mindset. Well,
Yep.
you know what? I'm going to do it next year. Starting January 1, I'm going to make health a priority. And then, you know, it's understandable. Life happens.
Life happens.
Well,
Life
that's why you're
happens.
on here on August 28th. We're
That's
going to
right.
start that resolution
right.
now, not on January 1st.
Absolutely.
80% drop off the resolution wagon in February
Yeah.
in the gyms. And again, it's a both side. It's a double-edged sword. People are coming into the gym with the good intentions, and sometimes the clubs out there aren't getting the information out there or assisting them. And that's one thing about our company with Fitness Evolution. When you come in, we have the necessary classes, and with the EvoFit we have, and the gym is structured where you have to walk in. You cannot fail. You're going to come in and get the results. But the information has got to be there. You also have to have the coaching, and you have to have the information to make it work. Rather than just, so that's.
So where is Fitness Evolution? Are you all over the place? I mean, are you nationwide? Are you statewide? Talk to me about
Almost. So we have been primarily in Northern California, Northern and Central California, and we've pretty much saturated the market from Lake Tahoe, Sacramento, all the way down through the Stockton area, all throughout the Central Valley, the Modesto area, and then stretching up through the whole entire Fresno market and much, much further down south. And then now, we're all over in the East Bay as well, and pretty much everywhere in between. And so we actually, in the efforts of going nationwide, so as Fitness Evolution, we're actually going through a transition right now, and I'm glad you brought that up. We actually, we've been wanting to go nationwide for quite some time, and Fitness Evolution, the brand, we have the rights to the brand in the state of California, but we ran into some roadblocks because it is a franchise technically, and so we ran into some roadblocks expanding out of state. And rather than waiting, what we're doing is we actually just started our own brand. Yep. So now we're transitioning. So the company moving forward will be called Fit Republic, and the transition should be done by the end of December. But that has enabled us to where we actually just are on the heels of opening our first location in Tacoma, Washington. Beautiful facility, yeah. And we'll saturate that market a bit, and then we'll be working down from there. And moving forward, we're going to be franchising out nationwide. So yeah, moving forward, we will be a nationwide organization.
So will the Fitness Evolution name go away, or will it still be intact in the local area?
But as far as our clubs, they'll all be Fit Republic by the end of December.
Fit Republic, everything will be changed.
Yeah.
Part of the Fit Republic.
That's right. New state of fitness.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Well, we have 1 minute left, so till our halftime break. Rick?
So again, getting back to what we've been talking about, I think the main focus point is everybody getting up every day, being the best they can be, getting the information that's out there right now to get yourself on a better health and fitness regimen, eating properly. It's 80% diet, 20% exercise. Start learning things out there. That's the main thing right now. Just get out there and be proactive.
Absolutely.
Well, stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the Happy Hour. I'm Rob Warner with Guild Mortgage. We're joined by Rick Carlson and Eddie Brown of Fitness Evolution. But before we go back to them, I want to start doing a little mortgage minute every Monday because that's what I do. I do mortgages. And I wanted to give a little tip to my audience, okay? So here's the mortgage tip today. It's cash to close, okay? The biggest problem I'm seeing right now in today's industry is folks not having their funds seasoned. They're deciding they're going to plop $5,000 into their account to cover their earnest money deposit or get a gift from somebody, from grandma that had the money in a mattress or in a suitcase somewhere. And folks, that is a deal killer because with the Patriot Act and everything else, funds need to be seasoned. There's a correct way to do it. You can do it with a gift letter and you can, from a relative, or you can basically take your cash in the mattress and pay your bills out of that and let your paychecks accumulate. But funds need to be seasoned, and usually the rule is 60 days they need to be seasoned in an account. So no cash deposits, okay? And no, if you're having trouble covering the earnest money deposit, which is the deposit you make on a home, then I suggest either wait or get a gift from somebody that is a proper donor, which, like I said, is a family member, and do that first. But once you put the cash in there, then you have to pull it back out, and we won't count it as sourced funds. And it can really hold up your transaction. And that's the tip for the day, okay? So now we're back talking about health and wellness, I guess, or
That's it.
That's it, right?
That's it.
Diet versus exercise. How about that question for both of you? Can you just diet and not exercise, or vice versa? I mean, can you kind of share the?
Well, if you were going to do one or the other, if you had to choose, diet always comes first. It's something that we deal with every day in the fitness industry, is people trying to go around a proper diet, and it just can't happen. If you could go to the gym 7 days a week, work out religiously. If you have a poor diet, there's no way around it. And so, it's what was the statistic you gave? It's 80%.
Yeah, it's 80% diet and 20% exercise.
Yeah.
I mean, you're only as good as your diet. How many of us work out in the gym for an hour and 2 hours, work out hard, and then we go out and a lot of people drink, or they'll go out and eat fast foods or this, and they're just defeating the purpose. It goes hand in hand. And again, like Eddie pointed out, if you had to choose one or the other, the diet is what overrides everything. I mean, proper nutrition is the source of good health and longevity. And again, I'm going to go back to what I talked about before. Living in a fast society, fast food culture, we're a lot of processed foods. When I go to the store now, my wife and I go to the store, we actually look at the cans, what the ingredients are. And even with that, we're still not getting proper nutrition. So now we got to look at supplementation. We got to take more vitamins now to offset the foods we're eating today. And back in the day, we had more organic foods, more naturally grass-fed foods, meats. And things today are not as healthy as used to be. You really have to do your research. You have to really watch what you're putting in your body. We have this thing where you think about in the morning, first think about what you look at in the morning, what you listen to, but also what you first put in your mouth, dictates your day. And we're not thinking of, what's that saying I was looking for? I think we're looking for temporary gratification and for sometimes long-term health issues. Yeah. Feeding our emotions, feeding our senses. And we do, rightfully so. We enjoy a restaurant. We enjoy that cake at the birthday. A lot of people out there having our alcohol. And we do things with temporary gratification, but with long-term effects. It's got to the point now where I'm getting close to, in another couple of weeks, I'll be 58 years old. And I'm looking at things a lot differently now. And even when I have a fast food meal, or if I have a cake, or if I do something on a cheat day, I think about it now. I think about the consequences of what I just did, because I'm not 20 years old. I'm not 30 years old anymore. We think we're invincible, but now we're at the age where we need to start. I'm at that age where I need to really start being concerned about my internal self, and so this is the big thing. The diet is definitely something that we need to definitely improve in this country. I mean, overall good eating habits, I should say. That's the proper phraseology there. Anyway, I've changed my eating. Again, I've changed my mindset. I feel so much better. I've changed the way I eat. I'm eating more fruits and vegetables. I'm also finding drinking a lot more water. I mean, our body is mostly made up of water. Our cells are made up mostly of water. So it's very important to drink lots of water. And I think that's one thing that we don't do a lot out there. We don't drink a lot of water.
I'm guilty of it all the time. I get tied up
is.
in my office. Even it's air conditioned, so I don't get, I'm not thirsty like I would be working out in the heat.
Yeah.
And then I realize, and then a friend of mine will tell me, well, you're getting headaches or something. He'll say, are you drinking water? And
Absolutely.
I had a glass today or whatever.
You notice on hot days, a lot of people are drinking a lot more water, and I mean, this should be every day. I mean, how many of you out there actually drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day? I mean, we're just not doing that. And then couple that again with not eating properly. But again, it's just the mindset out there. It's what the advertisements. If we can all agree with this, we've got so much coming at us with the advertising of all these different foods and fast foods and alcohol products and things. And back in the day, smoking was even glamorized. We remember that. That was actually, you have a cigarette. You look. That's the look you need, and that makes you cool. And of course, we found out what happened with that. I mean, we finally got educated, most of us. And so again, this is a topic in the health clubs. This is something that we bring in our business, is talking about nutrition as well. The importance of, you just don't come to the gym to exercise, but you also have to eat properly.
So you have nutritionalists at your gyms, basically, somebody that can guide you to the proper eating habits too? Is that something that's available?
Well, what I'm going to go into right now with our gyms is a program we call EvoFit. It's a 1 hour. It's based in a small group. And here's another thing too with training. People coming to the gym by themselves, doing the workouts on their own, think they know what they're doing, and not doing the right work, and then not understanding the eating process. So to answer your question, we have this 1 hour session. It's functionally intense interval training, and you're with a fitness professional, and we're getting cardio, and we're getting resistance training, all done in 1 hour. So you're getting full metabolic conditioning, which that's an important word out there, folks. Metabolic conditioning is something you need to know, because when you're getting metabolic conditioning, it's the afterburn you get after your workout. So if you're going in the gym and you're resting too much and you're not doing the proper intense workout, you're not going to get the right results. So these sessions bring not only that education, and with the instructor being one-on-one with attention to the members there in that session, and having a small group community, and bringing the high energy, and also the gap in between of the timeline of rest, which is properly handled in that session. They also bring in the nutritional aspect with that. That's what brings the whole circle together.
Yeah. We call it the results program for that reason, because it's not just they're going to take you through the workout, they're going to give you the typical coaching, but then they also give you the nutritional guidance as well. But at the end of the day, it really boils down to the person, because there's only so much as a company, as a trainer, as a gym that you can do. And if the person is going home and having everybody wants to have a cheat day, which is totally fine, in most parts. But when your cheat day becomes every day after the gym,
that's right.
There's just nothing. There's nothing a trainer can do. You could have the best trainer in the world, but if they're trying to work around a terrible diet, there's nothing they can do. And I use the reference of vehicles oftentimes to give people a good point of reference, because it's the same thing as if you have a vehicle, and people will, they get oil changes regularly, and they wash and they wax and they take care of their vehicle, and it's the same thing as taking care of your body. You've got to be proactive in what you're putting in your body, in how you're taking care of it, and you're going to get the results you want. If not, then it goes the other way. And so the sword slices both ways.
Yeah, it does.
Sure.
It does.
I got to share something real quick. This is a shout out to a friend of mine, Justin. When my wife and I moved up here from Orange County 14 years ago, I worked somewhere else, and I was near a Gold's Gym, and Justin.
Old stomping grounds.
Yeah, we used to cut out for lunch, and we actually would do a 45-minute workout, and then grab a sandwich, come back in the break room, and eat our lunch. And I'm not kidding you. I did that 3 days a week. I never felt better in my life than during that time. That came to my memory all of a sudden. I just wanted to share that.
No, absolutely. And it's one of the things that I wanted to touch on is how not only obviously the good eating habits and the exercise correlate to you feeling better, and it correlates to you being more productive, and it gives you higher energy, and it does it in a way that you're not having to. You're not having to take in massive amounts of caffeine, which is another it's another very, very big problem in America. Is our dependence on caffeine, and the how readily accessible it is between coffee and energy drinks and the little 5-hour energy shots, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just such a bad crutch where people don't realize that you can get that energy naturally, and it becomes regular energy. But people have become so dependent on caffeine. But the other thing I was going to touch on is that
Well, hold that thought. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Happy Hour. I'm Rob Warner with Guild Mortgage. We're being joined by Rick Carlson and Eddie Brown from Fitness Evolution. Woo! And yeah, boy, I'll tell you, proper working out. We were talking during the break because I used to know a few pretty aggressive business people that they were real regimented about cutting out and doing their workout.
Oh yeah,
because
they're
they
still out there.
knew that they could not operate at the pace they need to operate at unless they were physically in condition.
right.
But talk about the financial aspect of this whole thing.
Yeah, sure. So, like I said, we had already mentioned the average American is now spending, and this number's actually gone up. As of 2013, the average American was spending $10,000 a year in healthcare. So that number has gone up.
Yep.
But the good eating habits, they actually can save you money. And when you factor in, it's something like, in fact, I have it here, 70%. So 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account, which is mind-blowing to me. But the average American, with that in mind, the average American is still spending up to $200 a month on fast food and another $250 a month in restaurants. So those are two separate costs. So when you're factoring that in, if you're able to, and listen, everybody loves to eat out, and going out to eat shouldn't be a big no-no, but it shouldn't be such a fallback to where people are consuming. Like I said, there's just not a healthy option for fast food. So if you're going fast food, you're taking in a lot of calories, you're taking in a lot of preservatives, and just touching on preservatives real quick, I saw a video. Which was mind-blowing. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it was a time-lapse video of a McDonald's hamburger.
I saw that.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, it was eye-opening.
It really is eye-opening when you see it and you think, man, I'm putting that in my body.
You use the burger later as a cup holder.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
It stays forever.
Yeah.
Talk about the caffeine thing real quick. So caffeine's really not good for you.
Well, again, everything in moderation, but the idea that you you can use the obvious correlation, which is that, if you're taking in caffeine as an energy boost, 2 to 3 times per day, like anything else you put in your body, that caffeine has to break down and go somewhere.
Yes.
And also, and Rick can touch on that a little bit more, but if you want to have an eye-opening experience, for people who are regular coffee drinkers, which I am, I have a cup of coffee every day, but I know people that drink 5, 6, 7 cups of coffee a day, and then if they go a day without it, they're dealing with headaches, they're dealing with total
addiction.
Yeah, it is. It's a caffeine is a drug, just as much as any other drug out there, and it's between that and prescriptions, in my opinion, two of the biggest drug epidemics in America right now are legal and things that you can legally acquire. So,
yeah, I'll drink I'll share this with you all. I do suffer from ADHD and a little depression, and so a cup of coffee a day, just black coffee, and I try to drink organic coffee in the morning. It helps, subdue me, and it's beneficial for me. But what the problem is these sugary drinks, coffee drinks, and now we have the energy drinks, and we're born with cancer cells. And what I tell people is that either you feed your cancer cells or you don't feed them. And we're feeding our cancer cells, and again, a lot of it has to do with the sugary coffee drinks we're drinking today. And then we have people drinking them in the afternoon, which is a big no-no. Coffee has also been shown that if you drink coffee at night, you're not going to sleep as well as alcohol. We found both sides of the fence on this one, that it will disrupt your REM sleep, your deep sleep. You think you're going to go to sleep, and get a good night's sleep. So you're drinking your coffee drink, and now you're going to have some alcohol to knock you down, think you're going to sleep well, and that's just a perfect storm for not sleeping well. And that's another cause of concern, another reason why we're having so much health issues out there as well. And we can touch on sleep now too. I mean, sleep,
Well,
getting
yeah,
8 hours sleep.
and it leads to the late, the late day blues or whatever you
Yeah,
want to call
that's
them,
right.
where when you're taking in high amounts of caffeine and high amounts of sugar, you have an insulin spike, and so you're
Yep,
feeling
that's correct.
totally on point, and you have all the energy in the world, and you're on cloud nine. And then in most people it happens right after they have lunch. So they'll eat a meal, they'll have a quick lunch, and then their insulin levels drop, and suddenly you're lethargic, and you can't keep your energy up. And just like we were talking about with cycles, the quickest fix is, hey, I'm going to go get another energy drink. I need it to get through my day, and it's like you perfect storm. It is a perfect storm for disaster, because it only gets worse and worse and worse. And having those insulin spikes, people don't realize it, but 86 million Americans today have pre-diabetes.
Oh, that's right.
But less than 10% people even know that they have it, and it's something that you
Yeah,
can.
it's scary.
I know.
It
I
is.
have friends that have it. A lot of.
Teenagers today now.
What's the
Unheard
deal
of.
with that? Is it the diet? Is it the diet?
It is, and and like you were saying, it's something that the issue is that we're passing these habits on from one generation to the next. Whereas whatever we're doing, our kids are going to do it, only more so. And so when energy drinks first came out, they were sort of taboo, and kind of an unknown market. And now,
exploded.
it's something that you can, my 8-year-old daughter could go into a store and buy an energy drink, and it's completely unhealthy for her. But it's something as a country, we have adopted this market and this industry of just the quickest way to get whatever you need to get.
That is.
And yeah, I mean, it's obesity is on the rise. Childhood obesity, the numbers are higher than they've ever been before, and that's one of the biggest factors in it is the lack of exercise, the lack of movement, obviously with video games, and just the amount of different options you have to sit and do nothing. But then diet as well, and I personally, I equate a lot of it to having young parents. The age of parents has gone down, and so people are finding themselves in a position where they're having to work a lot to support their family. They don't have a lot of time, and so what ends up happening is they find the quickest, freezer-made dinner options or fast food or pizza, and it's a vicious cycle that people are in, and but the good news is it's not something that can't be broken, and breaking this cycle is not as difficult as people think it is. It really, really just starts with, and going back to the car reference, if you wanted to take good care of your vehicle, you wouldn't just wing it. You wouldn't just pop open the hood not knowing what you're doing and say, yeah, I'm just going to, I'll give it a shot and see what I can do. You would go to a professional. So the same thing with your health and wellness. Don't try to, if you're going to go about it by yourself, great. That's obviously better than nothing. But don't try to wing it on your own. You should go to a professional. You should get professional advice, because there's professionals out there that do this for a living, that health and wellness is their living.
And while we're talking about that, we have not given out any contact information. How do folks get a hold of you? Let's just do that now so I don't forget to do that.
Sure. So, you can go on our website right now, fitnessevolution.com. We will be launching our new website shortly, but that would be the quickest way for right now. You can always reach me. My email address is ed, E-D as in dog, at evolvefitness.com.
And Rick at evolvefitness.com. And please reach out to us.
Yeah.
Please reach out to us.
So talk to me about, does exercise build your immune system too?
Definitely.
Can you share a little bit? I mean, my wife and I didn't share this with you, but we're everything's organic, no GMO, everything in our pantry and our cabinets are that way. But like environmental, there's a lot of environmental, what do you call it, issues right now with the environment and different things.
Well, it's not like it used to be. No.
So talk about how that can benefit your immune system as well.
Well, the first thing between exercise and getting the proper amount of antioxidants, which is something that gets very overlooked, It's called free radicals, and so you want to combat free radicals as much as possible. And there's certain things in life that you can't avoid, being pollution, excessive exposure to sunlight, obviously, things of that nature. You're going to get free radical damage from that, and there's nothing you can do. But what you can do to avoid that, obviously, like I said, is proper diet, getting the proper amount of vitamins and antioxidants, but then exercising as well. Exercise combats free radicals, which in turn builds your immune system.
Strengthen your cells,
directly.
everybody. Study cellular health. Get on the internet. This is what I did 5 years ago. It changed my life. Study your cells. Once you do that, understand your cells. It's the most important part of your body. And one thing about exercise and proper diet, you're going to build healthier cells, especially with weight training and resistance training, building stronger bones, which will in turn give you better cells, stronger, better blood, better cells. It's all about cellular. So get out there and really research cellular health. It'll change your life. It'll change your mindset.
Absolutely, and I can't say it enough. We have go to any Fitness Evolution /Fit Republic and ask about our results program.
Exactly.
And it is absolutely the most affordable way to get a straight line from A to Z. The most affordable way you can do it. We're offering it at a fraction of the cost of any of our competitors.
God. Great value.
And it is completely comprehensive, and it really can change your life. And the worst thing that could happen is you're going to come into one of our locations and you're going to get a ton of good information.
That's right.
Well, that's very good.
You need 1 hour a day. It's a fraction of your day, and we offer that. Fitness Evolution, we have a session for 1 hour that will change your life and get you going in the right direction.
Guaranteed results.
What I wanted to say real quick is I'm looking at Rick. You can't see him on the air, but this guy's 58 years old, and he looks freaking great, okay? You can go on my Happy Hour with Rob Warner Facebook page and see these videos after they're finished. And I really implore you to go look. Is that the right word? I really encourage you to please look at what this has done to this gentleman right across from me right now.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I'm very passionate. I'm glad Eddie came on because he gave really good insight with stats and information. But my passion has been my passion my whole life, starting when I was very young. And I've not missed the boat. I've been on this trek my whole life, and I hope the rest of you can do the same.
Well, everyone, it's been great having you on. Rick and Eddie, just thank you so much for being on my show today. It's been wonderful having you here.
Appreciate it, Rob. Thank you, sir.
Everybody, look forward to seeing you next Monday on the Happy Hour. Take care.
Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender, NMLS 3274, licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. Rob Warner, NMLS 825102. All loans subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply, subject to change without notice.